Well, hey, it's a Wednesday on the motherfucking 20th of February. It's a Wednesday, going over the crypto in 13 minutes or less. Thanks for joining us. My name is Ty. Our mission here is to help you trade smarter, trade safer, and trade with more confidence at UTG. So let's dive right in because we don't have 14 minutes. Nobody got time for that. So 30 minutes or less, let's get into it. Top 100 cryptos by market cap. Bitcoin, as always, leading the way. Not a massive change over the last 24 hours. We'll dive into the BTC and ETH charts in just a second. Biggest winners in the last 24 hours, Storage, Binance Coin. Binance Coin's an interesting one. It typically holds up quite well against BTC and does move quite well as BTC moves. Of course, all the whales will be holding their Binance Coin for the reduced fees, with Binance being one of the biggest exchanges now as well. It makes sense that plenty of people have plenty of Binance Coin on Binance. Theta, Arc, Maker, Wax, Quant, Sentiment Net. What is a Sentiment Net? Redcoin, MadeSafe Coin. What is a MadeSafe Coin? Komodo and Bitcoin Gold. We can see they're the biggest disappointments in the last 24 hours. Odom down 11.53%. Ontology down 5.6%. BCH down 4.3% as well. Holo and Bancor. Holo, a little bit of a breather after the run that it had yesterday as well. Let's dive into the BTC charts. Yeah, we're not going to show that again. As we have seen now, BTC didn't get the chance to bust up through that supply level that we had set earlier in the week. We can see that we're probably going to have a little bit of a breather now. We had this wicked run here after this consolidation and breaking out of this triangle. We've come up here. We haven't quite pierced that supply box. We're expecting and we'll be looking for a retrace to between the 38 and 61 fib levels here as well. This is our level of interest between 3.8 all the way down to about 3.695. You could look to play some buys potentially around there or dollar cost average in as we come back down towards that area of interest. ETH, obviously the Constantinople hard fork is what has driven this run up, as it did last month as well. Of course, we didn't bust through that supply block, and we saw a pretty aggressive sell-off as well, as we sort of often see. This is, not necessarily surprising considering this run. After every big run, there always has to be a considerable pullback. And if we chuck the fibs on as well from this run down here, put it up to the top, around this sort of area, we can see that we've now bounced off that 23 fib level rather. We've seen the decline in selling volume and a little bit of an increase in buying volume here as well. So we expect it to potentially bounce off this period here and continue upwards for about a 10% gain there as well. So moving into the news for the day, Binance CEO, founder CZ spoke to Anthony Pompliano in the latest episode of Off the Chain, among other things. They discuss philosophy, philanthropy, and how the world works. Pomp has a pretty good daily blog as well. He has a free version, also has a paid version. I don't mind Pomp. He does all right. So Binance sprang from seemingly nowhere to become one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world. But CZ puts that largely down to their international outlook. A career working around the globe taught him that individual currencies are limited to one country. When Binance launched, most players were focusing on the larger fiat markets or just trying to crack crypto to crypto in the US. But Binance settled on a smaller crypto market, but multiplied that by 180 countries. So regarding the speed of Binance's growth and development, CZ explains that getting the right team solved a lot of the issues in scaling so quickly. The company does not make long-term plans, just weekly plans, which leads to the fast implementation of world work. So trading in 180 different countries means 180 different sets of generally still unclear regulations. So rather than try to dictate or influence these, the CZ way is to work within them. However, he has had strong views on where regulations must focus, and this from him is regulations should try and prevent bad actors but not limit industry growth. So when asked about his philanthropy, CZ admits that it is a little bit self-serving and that he is using social impact to work to promote crypto. So while the project themselves are rewarding, giving the next generation of positive first interaction with crypto is also key. So CZ explains that he has enough money and that doubling or halving it would not change his life very much. After taking care of yourself, he believes that most fulfilling life involves taking care of others. He wants to achieve something impactful and says that he believes that increasing crypto adoption of crypto is the most positive impact I can bring to our species. So CZ also thinks that Binance is covering enough in terms of initiatives, but wants to go deeper into each one. He says that Binance doesn't have to do everything, but he wants the infrastructure player for a few things out of many and wants to do them well. Moving on. This was a very great write-up, and I would highly encourage you to go to Cambridge Associates or Pantera Capital, rather, on Twitter, where they link to this Cambridge Associates article that was released on their blog lately. And who are Cambridge Associates? Well, they only manage close to $390 million in assets, and they've done a big write-up on cryptocurrencies being worthwhile for long-term investors. So, leading institutional investment consulting firm Cambridge Associates holds that institutional investors should consider exploring cryptocurrencies for the long term, or hodl in Bitcoin lingo. So, Cambridge Associates is a Boston-based institutional investment consulting firm with more than $300 billion in assets under advisement. It holds that it's high time for institutions to consider crypto. So, the firm asserts that despite the twists and turns, cryptocurrencies may very well upend the digital world. And this from their article. Despite the challenges, we believe that it is worthwhile for investors to begin exploring this area today with an eye toward the long term. Though these investments entail a high degree of risk, some may very well upend the digital world. However, the consulting firm also recommends that spending a considerable amount of time learning about the space is a must before investing. So despite the tumbling prices across the crypto space over the last year, Cambridge Associates says that the industry is actually developing. This from them out of the blog as well. The dramatic declines that swept across the crypto space raise questions about the future of these assets and the blockchain tech that underpins them. Yet, in looking across the investment landscape, we see the industry is developing, not faltering. So institutions are dipping their toes. Some long-term focused institutions are already taking note and dipping their toes into the arena. According to a Q4 2018 report of digital currency asset manager Grayscale Investments, institutions and retirement accounts comprise the lion's share in crypto investing. And earlier this month, Bitcoiners did report that Fairfax County employees and Fairfax County police pension plans became the first U.S. public pension to invest in a $40 million crypto fund. Interesting at times ahead for institutional investment in BTC. 2019 very well could be the catalyst for some pretty explosive growth, with BACT launching towards the end of the year. Some other institutional news out in the next little bit as well. A little bit of lighter news now as well. A new Chrome and Firefox browser extension has enabled Bitcoin BTC tipping over Twitter via the Lightning Network. Obviously, we saw the interview a couple of weeks ago with Jack Dorsey on the Joe Rogan podcast, where he spoke about the future of what he believes Bitcoin will be, being the currency of the internet, and his take on having BTC or BTC enabled functions on Twitter in the long term, becoming the torchbearer for the Lightning Network, so to speak. So now this new system, Tippin.me, uses Bitcoin's second layer scaling solution, which is the Lightning Network, to make tipping almost instantaneous with incredibly low fees of a fraction of a cent. So the project was developed recently and still is in development. However, Tippin.me states that it's already functional. Installation of the browser extension allows users to see a new tipping button, Twitter tweets, opening the door for a future where the Lightning Network may facilitate tipping across a wide variety of social platforms. So this from Dan Rusnak in a post on Medium. He states that not only the Twitter experience completely changes, but it also opens limitless future scenarios in an internet where, thanks to extensions like this, you can tip people on all socials. It can be for a tweet, an article, for a video, for a comment, etc. Thus creating a new way to raise money by content creators without a need for a central agency and without the need of creating a new social platform and economic system from scratch. So pretty cool there. It would be interesting to see, like you see on Steam, which was the blogging platform similar to Medium, where you can tip content creators in the tokens as well. It's pretty cool to see this on Twitter in the long run, particularly with the cryptosphere, as it were, being a very active place on a daily basis. Interested to hear what you think about that one as well. Join us over at unitytradinggroup.com or jump into the Discord to have a bit of a chat about this. Now, Elon Musk has stated that Bitcoin has quite brilliant structure. Paper money is going away. Do you agree with this? Coming from someone like tech entrepreneur and Tesla CEO Elon Musk, he did say that BTC structure is quite brilliant and that the digital currency is a far better way to transfer value than pieces of a paper. Musk made his remarks during an interview on advisory services firm ARK's Invests podcast on Feb 19. So in a response to a question about whether Bitcoin becomes the only native crypto of the internet, Musk said that the Bitcoin structure was quite brilliant and that he thinks that one of the downsides of crypto is that computationally it is quite energy intensive. So there has to be some kind of a constraint on the creation of crypto, but it is very energy intensive to create the incremental Bitcoin at this point. So on this note, Musk stressed that it would not be a good use of Tesla's resources to get involved in crypto. We're just really trying to accelerate the advance of sustainable energy. So pretty cool. We had pretty major figures talking about Bitcoin lately. Obviously, Jack Dorsey of Twitter, and now Elon Musk is jumping in with his thought on it as well. Hey, it can only help with adoption, particularly from retailers as well. So Ethereum's Vitalik Buterin discloses his non-ETH crypto holdings and other revenue sources. What do you reckon Vitalik is holding? Well, I'm going to show you. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik has disclosed his crypto investments are virtually exclusively devoted to the Ethereum network, being ERC20 tokens, in a post published to an Ask Me Anything Reddit thread on Feb 18. So here's what he's holding. In Buterin summary, his total holdings of non-Ethereum ecosystem tokens comprising Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Zcash. They account for less than 10% of his values of his Ethereum holdings. Obviously, the rest is ETH. A further set of non-Ethereum ecosystem tokens comprised of the Kyber network, KNC, Oh My Guys Go, OMG, Maker, MKR, and Augur, REP, are similarly reported collectively worth less than 10% of Vitalik's holdings. So he also disclosed in the AMA that he has a significant corporate shareholdings in blockchain research and development firm Clearmatics, as well as in a scalability and privacy-focused blockchain startup Starkware. The latter notably develops cryptographic technology such as zero-knowledge proof, of which Buterin is a vocal proponent. And very lastly as well, just some light news here. Google does introduce a Bitcoin symbol on the iOS keyboards. Shock. Wow. Google now enables the Bitcoin symbol on keyboards for iOS mobile devices, suggesting that the IT giant recognizes Bitcoin as a mainstream currency. Pretty cool. There's a lot of people that use Google on the iOS keyboards. This is pretty cool. You know, people might start to question what is that little symbol, and it may drive the conversation. So not massive news from that, but hey, every little bit counts as well. There still is no word on when it will be released on Android, but for now, iOS keyboards are taking the lion's share of the Bitcoin symbols at this time. So that is your news for today, the 20th of Feb 2019. Hope you had an amazing day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more crypto updates. In the meantime, join us on unitytradinggroup.com. Come and jump over in Discord, have a bit of a chat. Let's talk crypto and all things market trading as well. Hope you have a great day. Until next time, trade safe and see you soon.